What's going on today, you guys? So today I wanted to talk to you about a little question that I see pretty often when it comes to the KRK Rokits, and that is, how do I know if my KRK Rokit studio monitors are clipping? Um, you know, when you get pieces of gear or any pieces of music equipment, you really want to be careful. Mostly because gear is expensive, and when you invest in something like that, you want to make sure that you're taking care of it and that you're using it safely and to the best of its abilities. So the last thing you want for studio monitors is for them to be clipping, because that could ruin the amplifiers inside, could ruin your studio monitors overall, no matter what kind of monitors you are using. For those of you who don't know KRK systems, a little bit of background on them. They began manufacturing studio monitors back in 2003 with the Generation 1 KRKs, and now 17 years later, in 2020, we are at the Generation 4. Right now, you are currently looking at the KRK Rokit 8 G4s. G4 stands for Generation 4, of course, and the 8 stands for 8-inch low-frequency driver. They're wonderful, wonderful studio monitors, very budget friendly, especially when you consider the size and you pair them up against other studio monitors that are kind of in the same range. And they've come quite a long way from the original ones back in 2003, just in terms of sound quality, in terms of design, and in terms of just pretty much everything about them. Of course, they are very, very loud. But if you're not careful, you could run into clipping issues. Now, for starters, one thing to note is that most powered studio monitors, especially those that have modern amplifiers, they do have some sort of overload protection circuits. KRK monitors actually do have those overload protection circuits, so clipping isn't something that you seriously have to worry about. It's one of those things that's usually going on. Clipping is usually one of those things that's going on through the kind of terrain of your system rather than your actual studio monitors. So it's very rare that you have to worry about these actually clipping. There are a few things that you could that I could suggest to you that could maybe help you out if you're hearing something that's maybe like a very unpleasant sort of distorted noise, or something along those lines. For starters, I'm going to assume that you have your studio monitors hooked up to an interface, and if not your interface, then just to regular to your computer or laptop. For me, my interface has this little monitor section right here, and it basically most monitoring sections are sort of similar. They have a green, yellow, and red. These first 4 lines on this specific UAD Apollo, they have these first 3 lines are green. That's pretty much you're in a good place volume wise when you're in green. Yellow is when you're getting near kind of the threshold where it will be clipping or the signal will be distorted, and then finally when it gets to red, it's like you've distorted the signal, it's too loud. Usually if you're starting to hear distortion, it's not actually your monitors, it's actually the sound that's being fed into them. So you're going to want to just turn down the output of your interface device or your laptop or computer to make sure that you're not getting any added distortion through the monitors that would kind of muddy or cloud your sound. Of course, your amplifiers inside of your KRKs could be busted. In that case, no matter what volume you're listening at, you're going to get a really nasty, kind of distorted and broken up sort of sound. And if that's the case for you, I would highly recommend getting in touch with one of KRK's representatives to get that checked out. All right, guys, that's a little bit of insight on how to tell if your KRK Rokit monitors are clipping. And if you have any questions or any insights, please feel free to leave them in the comments. All right, take it easy.